Breeze Nation, what is good? It's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again. And you know we got the squad in the building. A little mini squad, nothing crazy. But a lot to get to on today's show. Flipping the script on this one, talking a little bit of Chicago Bulls. Listen, there's a lot to get to on this Bulls team. I know that we haven't talked a ton of Bulls on this show over the last few months, but it hasn't been a lot to talk about. I mean, they've basically been the same team, right? But gotta look at, listen, Bulls looking to be the favorites to land a name like Russell Westbrook. Also got to talk about the fact that the Chicago Bulls may be looking at Terrence Shannon Jr. as an option. Is that a viable option for this team? I know he's a guard. Everybody breathe. Also got to look at CBS listing the Chicago Bulls as the worst spot to coach in the NBA. All that and more in today's episode of the Windy City Breeze Sports Talk Daily. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave that 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. JC, what's going on, my boy? How you feeling?
What's good, man? Hey, I know you guys usually get this done early, but I'm glad I'm actually on the show. I know you had to push it to 6, so here I am in the flesh.
Yeah, mom's pulled up on me out of nowhere, man. Had to take the time out for moms. Can't never go wrong with moms. So
gotta take care of the fam. I feel you.
Gotta take care of the fam, bro. Yeah, I'm saying it is what it is. But listen, a lot to get to is let's see. We got Stefan Adon in the building.
Yo. There he is.
Snap. First off, that gaming chair is called Well Loved, my boy. That mug is falling apart.
Hey, I'm not trying to hear nothing from you because the seat was sinking for like a good
But I solved that problem.
Hey.
As you can see, we moving on up right here. You see this background? You see where I'm
sitting at right now? The skyscraper.
You see where I'm sitting at right now?
Are you downtown?
I'm here.
Hey. But you never talk about this building right here that I'm in. But no, man, I appreciate y'all, like I said, for tuning in and showing love. Let's jump into the show, man. Like I said, hit that like button if you haven't done so. This is an interesting topic to start off with because Terrence Shannon Jr. coming off of a case that to me should have never been a case when you start to look through kind of some of the evidence, but it is what it is, right? He was accused of something, went through the judicial system. He now has been proven innocent, which is, listen, a phenomenal thing to hear ahead of the draft. My question to you guys, because Terrence Shannon Jr. was a player that the Chicago Bulls could have looked at possibly later on in the draft. Do we see Terrence Shannon Jr.'s draft stock rise up now and possibly put him in lottery pick range? Or do you feel like there is a little bit of a concern still on his name that he was involved in this situation that will put him in a position where the Bulls can get him later on in the draft?
Yeah, I mean, when I look at the situation, prior to this, especially in the NCAA tournament, I feel like his stock definitely rose. Especially with what he did, he definitely upped his scoring, as we've seen, and he was definitely one of the lead catalysts for the run that they went on. There might be some trepidation from other teams as far as picking him up, but I could see him going probably right outside of the lottery. But for the most part, especially for this draft, you're trying to build the role players, and you also got to remember he's one of the older guys. As we've seen of late, I believe like the last 2 drafts, we've seen some older guys get taken, but they've also made a profound impact on the teams that they've been on. Jaime Jaquez Jr. to be one of them, to be exact. So I mean, look, he might be able to do it. Listen, if the Bulls are able to get him, more power to him.
I'm all for it. I'm all for that. I agree with you, Ringo. Terrence Shannon Jr., one of the stats that blew my mind, I didn't even realize this, and I watched every single game in March Madness up till the Elite Eight. He averaged 31.2 points per game in those 6 games that they played when they won the Big Ten championship and all the way to the Elite Eight. And so you're talking about somebody that went through what he went through, still has the mental fortitude to do what he has to do to help his team out to win. That's a guy that I would want on my team because you're talking about intangibles like that, 6'6". I didn't realize he was 6'6". I know we talked about him a little bit yesterday. He's a little taller than I thought, 6'8" wingspan, coast-to-coast elite burst, has good athleticism, defensive versatility. I mean, this is a guy you can truly develop, and the way he plays, I think fits right in with the culture, obviously, of Chicago and the Bulls. Yeah, I like TSJ. I think his stock maybe took a hit, but I kind of always saw him as a guy that would probably be there in the 15 to 25 range, maybe. So,
Really?
Yeah, so I think we can still get him where we're going to get at if we're not considering a big man.
See, I think TSJ's stock I think his stock had fallen because of the case, right? Like, I don't think that it's crazy to say, like, oh my goodness, like teams are concerned that this thing may be true, which when you started to read through it, it never felt to me like it was true, like it was going to be something that was going to be a stain on, his draft profile and stuff like that. The fact that you get a not guilty verdict before the draft is phenomenal for him, because I'll say this, I said this on Locked On Bulls last night, and I'm very high on Terrence Shannon. I'm an Illinois fan, but to me, Terrence Shannon is a sure thing. And what I mean by a sure thing is that he's the type of player that you can look at and say, well, at a minimum, I get this. At a minimum, I know that he's going to be somebody who can attack the basket and find success down low. I know that he's somebody who can, a little bit of a streaky shooter, but can knock down the 3 ball. I know that he's somebody who has the speed in the first step and has an NBA style body, right? I know these things about him. And so to me, that moves him up the draft board once you get this off of his resume to start things off. On top of that, I think the fact that you saw a guy like Nikola Topic go down with an ACL tear or a previous ACL tear, I think that does move him up in this draft a little bit. I think that does open eyes to what Terrence Shannon Jr. could be in this draft a little bit, because to me, you're talking about a young man who he's got all of these things that are already positives as far as his game. He's been a guy who's been a leader on a really, really good Illinois team. I'd be more willing to bring that guy in than take a chance on somebody who I'm like, well, he kind of has a ceiling, but we don't really know what it is. We know the player that Terrence Shannon Jr. is. And so to me, I'd be surprised. I said this yesterday on Locked On. Nikola Topic was a player that the Spurs had been eyeballing for a while. They have 2 picks in the top 8. They have the number 4 pick, and they also have the number 8 pick. I'd be surprised if Terrence Shannon Jr. made it past them.
Yeah.
Like, I think that he is that level of a talent, and he'll be that high in the draft.
You said in the past 8th. Wow.
I'd be surprised.
I don't know, because I've been on record saying that the Spurs, to me, they need PG help, but also they're probably there. You may get Donovan Clingan, depending on if they want to run the
they might have to trade up for him.
The two big lineup, I can see them doing that. So I mean, 8. I mean, that's pretty high praise. I mean, I'm with everything you said, right? He's got to look
at the teams that need guards. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, the Bulls. As much as I don't want the Bulls to draft a guard, because the Bulls don't need guards.
Yeah,
but to me, I don't know if the Bulls take him at 11. Right? If he does get past that 11. Point, I think the Bulls probably chance this, but I would love to have a guy like Terrence Shannon Jr. in there if he ends up falling. But I think with how the draft is kind of playing out, with how nobody knows anything, the fact that you have a name that you know that also has the talent, I think that Terrence Shannon Jr. does shoot up this draft board. I'm not saying you take him 4, but could I see him going in the 8 to 15 range? 100%.
Well, my thing is, if they are, because you already know the Bulls, we talked about it committing to, I can't forget the guy's name. I forget the guy's name off the top of my head. But, I mean, you look at a prospect like him.
Oh, the one that they promised the draft.
Yeah, they've been, and I don't know why the Bulls do that. They have a bad track record of doing that. They did with Chandler Hutchinson. Like, stop promising these guys you're going to pick them before you do your due diligence. Now you got TSJ that's free of all these accusations. That dude is a way better prospect than the other guy that we were talking about. I believe from Providence. I think that's where he was from. But
talking about Devin Carter?
Devin Carter, yes. From Providence, right? Yeah. So I don't know. He's a smaller guy too. Like defensively, he's not as good as TSJ. I think just TSJ brings more to the table as far as his tools. But going back again to that mental fortitude, I really like TSJ's the things he brings to you outside of what's obvious, right? You know, because a lot of players can come into the league and they can just base their game off of their athleticism. Oh, he can dunk, he can, run the break real well. You know, he has a few things, some things in his bag. I think TSJ is the type of player that can continue to add to his game, that work ethic. And comparatively, you look at somebody who kind of went through their own trials and tribulations that we passed upon with the Bears is Carter. Carter that went to the Eagles. You looked at what he had.
Jalen
Carter.
Thank you. Yeah, Jalen Carter went.
Almost said Javante.
I was thinking Javon Carter for whatever reason. Yeah, Jalen Carter went through his own trials and tribulations. With the dealing with the unfortunate passing of the woman, and you saw how he handled that. The man didn't put in a lot of work. I think when he went to his training or his combine, he was overweight. He didn't have good conditioning. You can look at that compared to me and say, well, what does he bring to the table? Even though he goes through adversity, TSJ did his thing on and off the court. Like, he was putting in work after he went to court every day from what I saw in some reports. So you don't have to worry about the guy that wants the passion and the desire part of TSJ's game.
The crazy thing is, it's funny that you actually bring that up, because I've always said, especially with the Jalen Carter draft, is the only reason why I was okay with the Bears not getting him and Post being like, "No, I'm okay," is because that the Bears didn't have the vets at that. Like that, they had some vets, but that Eagles locker room, you had Kelsey at the time. It was a whole bunch of vets to steer him in the right direction, and he had some of his boys there. The reason why I don't think that Terrence Shannon Jr. going to the Bulls as early as it seems, and it's not as crazy, is because you do have, if DeMar stays, you do got DeMar, you do got Vooch, you got these guys that have been in those locker rooms, been in those circles. We talked about Kobe White taking sort of a leadership role, so he'll be able to lean on those guys. So I don't think it's as far-fetched as people may seem about the Bulls drafting him.
It'll be interesting to see, by the way, just real quick. Over 100 in the chat. 100. Gotta get that one. Shout out to the Twitter side. Twitter rocking with us on the NBA Talk today. 67 on Twitter, 37 over on the Windy City Breeze YouTube page. We know they don't like basketball over on the YouTube side, but that's all right. We got to talk. These are teams in our city.
What is this?
Come on,
we got to talk about the teams in our city, man. I know it sucks, though. It is sad to say, because here's the tough part about this draft, right? If the Bulls add, to me, it's if the Bulls add draft capital, right? When you talk about, okay, let's go out there and let's add something later in the draft or maybe earlier in the draft, so that it opens up the opportunity for you to draft Terrence Shannon Jr. Because I don't think Terrence Shannon Jr. can be your only pick. That's what makes this tough. I think that to me, I love Terrence Shannon Jr. I think that you do need to address a guy that literally can be a dog. You have to have a guy who's legitimately at the highest point. He can be a top 50 player. I don't know if you have that in this draft, though. And so you have to take your chances on guys who can be the best that you feel that they can be at the position you need. Right now, the position you need most is big man. Yes. There's no question about it. The position you need most is a Donovan Clingan or a Kyle Filipowski, or if you would, I will slap somebody if Zach Edey is drafted at 11.
Joel's gonna get him.
I swear to God, I'll slap somebody right now if it's drafted at 11. Shout out to Shane O'Hara from Ireland. But that is an Irish name right there, my guy.
Oh, yeah.
Is that Sean O'Hara? Very Irish, even so. Yeah, I mean, he is checking the boxes right now. Shout out to you from Ireland, my guy. But no, to me, when I'm looking at the Chicago Bulls right now, the position that I feel like they need the most absolutely has to be the big man position. You have to address that. There are some more options later on in this draft if you were to go that route as well. But where's the ceiling on all of those players? Are you going to get 3 for Donovan Clingan? That to me is the spot you have to be in. You have to be willing to trade with Houston to go up and get Donovan Clingan. And even on top of that, what is Donovan Clingan bringing, right? I think that he's a nice offensive player. I don't know if he's great in the NBA level. I think he does bring rim protection. To me, he's a Walker Kessler type of player that I'd love to see the Bulls have. But guess what? If you didn't F up the draft and take Dalen Terry, and sorry, this is a point of contention for me, you could have just drafted Walker Kessler.
Whoa. Hey, Dalen's putting in work in the offseason, all right?
You shut your mouth.
Oh man, no,
you and this Dalen Terry love is one of the funniest things. Listen, we replaced AD with light skinned AD. That's really what we did here, bro. Like he got love for every player that's on the Bulls.
Right
back
it up, Terry. Put that thing in reverse, Terry.
Dalen Terry love is nuts, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not fully out on Dalen Terry, but we know.
I am.
He's a piece.
I am.
He's a piece of what?
Okay, all right, whatever. I'm not gonna go. We're not gonna go down the Dalen hole, the Dalen Terry hole. Yeah, that did. Whoa, that okay. Anyway, moving on.
The what? We're not gonna do what? What's going on?
I just got lightheaded.
What'd you say?
Oh man.
What'd you just say, dog?
Nothing at all. It's a Friday.
He said it's a Friday. It's hot. It's a Friday.
I already know I'm getting pauses in the chat. I see it now. Little Lord Crimson. All right, whatever.
Hey, yo.
Did he? All right. Moving on.
TM didn't even say no, did he? He just said, did he? Hey, King Booker World said, and roll him.
Oh, man. All right.
That was nuts.
Sorry.
We're not going to go down the Terry hole, dog? What? Yo, I'm not going to lie. I don't know if we've had a wild. That's one of the wildest pauses you've had on this show, bro.
There's been a few. Yeah.
We call you Mr. Meaty, bro, and that's one of the wildest pauses of all time.
Yeah. I'm not helping my name out.
That's crazy.
That was insane.
That's wild.
All right.
So anyway, let's talk some basketball here. I don't know what the heck that was there. We're gonna keep this thing moving along. Let us know in the comments below. Do you feel like the Chicago Bulls? Hey, Chef Max says, so you a fan, huh? You a fan, you a fan, you a fan. You a fan, you a fan, you a freaky
I ain't that kind of friend.
69 guy.
Don't call me Drake.
You my friend.
Foggy said, ever since Mr. Meaty, you've been different, bro.
Yeah, bro.
They said that yesterday.
But that's the thing. He been running with it, though.
Come on, bro.
Hey, listen, what do you got? First off, it's from a TV show. It was a creepy TV show that used to come on Nickelodeon.
I'm going to be honest with you.
It's from a TV show, so it's not like it's original to him, but there may be t-shirts coming out. Let's keep this thing moving along. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave that 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Shout out to the Twitter side, rocking with the NBA talk, man. The YouTube side said F y'all. That's all good, though.
Shut up, Eric.
38 over on YouTube. Shout out to YouTube, though. I love the 38 people that's just here rocking with us just because we're us. Damian Hernandez, what in the ditty? Let's keep this thing moving.
Oh, boy.
Bill, the Chicago Bulls are favored to get a very specific point guard who has been linked to the Chicago Bulls for the last few seasons. Why? Because Billy Donovan was once his former coach, and that is Russell Westbrook. Russ has been linked to multiple teams, one being the Phoenix Suns, and also let me see here. Hold on. What was the other team here? They had the Phoenix Suns was the first one, which I'm not gonna lie, threw me off the most. And the reason behind that was, bro, why? Like, that's all the players that like didn't work with Russ. Like, you got Brad Beal over there, you got Kevin Durant over there. Like, what are we doing here, bro?
So just bring them all together and run it back, huh?
Now, what I will say is this. You've got a different Russ. You have a Russ that's more willing to be more of the facilitator than he was maybe in the past. You've also got a Russ coming into a team where he knows he's the fourth option in Phoenix. That would be the interesting part of that. Crimson, the merch is ETA on the merch. I would say probably mid to end of next week. We're trying to get some things worked out with the website, but we got that coming y'all way ASAP. So stay tuned in with us. Stay tapped in with us on that. But what the thing for me with Russ coming to the Chicago Bulls is, and this is the biggest thing. The other team was Miami, by the way. I don't know how I forgot that with Ringo sitting right here. The other team that he's linked to is Miami, by the way, which I think is the best team for him to go to.
You don't like that, Ringo?
Which I think is the best team for him to go to.
Like,
they need help at point guard.
But see, my problem is this. It's the same thing with the Bulls. If this was like if this was 2 years ago, that like I'm all for it. Like and then even with it, so even with the Bulls thing, right? Because I'm looking at it like he's obviously coming off the bench.
Yep.
Kobe White.
See, I don't know that though. I don't believe that.
Kobe White has assumed that starting role. No,
oh, you saying with the Bulls?
Yeah.
With the Bulls, yes, I do agree. With that.
So he's coming off the bench with the Bulls. If I would have to see I would have to see the rest of the roster fill out with the Bulls, in order for me to see, how that would fit, because you still got DeMar. Like I know the connection with Vooch would be crazy. Then, especially if they do go get like a rookie big man, you literally always got that. Hey, just cut. I'm gonna get you the ball. That's a quick 8. With Miami, it's like, dog.
With Miami, he's a starter.
He's a starter, but again, another old guard. We know we need to get younger.
Yeah.
What's going on?
He's 35 years old.
No,
yeah,
but here's the thing. Here's the thing with the iteration. This is why I'm okay with him going to Miami. And I know, right, like Ringo being a Miami fan, he may not feel it, but when Russell Westbrook was a starter, when he was starting, right, and not with LeBron, you also have to take that into context. He was starting with LeBron. We've seen point guards go with LeBron, and basically their career goes into a different direction because LeBron's the point guard, right? Russ is a point guard. He is not a shooter. He's not going to be a shooter. What I think this adds to your team is something that you don't have. Russ doesn't lose the ability. Russ can still see.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Chris Paul, healthy, is still a good facilitator. Russ at 35 years old is still a good facilitator. Is he Russ that's going to the bucket yamming on your head? No, he's not. Is he Russ that you want to take over? No, he's not. But you know what he is? He's a really good point guard who can see the floor. You pairing that up with Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, and Tyler Hero. Where's the problem there? Now, that is my point and why I don't believe that he fits with the Chicago Bulls. I would actually like Russ on the Chicago Bulls, but because of what you said, coming off of the bench, I think he provides stability. I think he gives Kobe White a little bit more of a, hey, listen, this is how you want to do this. This is how you want to attack this. This is what you should see. This is this moment. Might even be able to help Ayo Dosunmu in that situation. And he's already taking on that bench role. I would love that. But nobody wants to go from LA to February in Chicago.
Yeah.
Ron Harper only did it because he thought the greatest player of all time wasn't there, and then he came back. Nobody wants to do that. So, like, to me, Russ to Chicago, Russ being a favorite in Chicago, Russ being the most likely option, it doesn't make sense to me because the two options on the table are Phoenix and Miami. I'm not saying those are better locations than Chicago. I actually think both of them are worse locations when you take into account people, when you take into account the party scene, with maybe Miami for the party scene.
Yeah, I was going to say Miami.
Chicago could throw some fire parties, though. Let's not cap on that, right?
Oh, absolutely.
You're talking about fashion scene, right? You know, Chicago's big in the fashion. So there's a lot of things that fit Russ's lifestyle. But you know what doesn't fit Russ's lifestyle? Snow.
I don't know. I don't. We talked about this a little bit yesterday with P Kid. To me, like, what are the pros and cons of getting somebody like Russ? Okay, he has ties to Donovan. Obviously, they have a good relationship, so you don't have to worry about that there. I think he's at the point in his career where you don't have to worry about him demanding starters minutes or whatever. He understands his role now. To me, the pro would be he would be kind of like filling that Patrick Beverley type of mentor type role when he was here and he took over and helped out Kobe and Ayo initially when they started to ramp up. So that I could see coming off the bench. Yeah, I believe what is his numbers?
Would you have not have loved Pat Bev last year?
Yes, I've been saying
Pat
this.
Bev.
We got Javon Carter.
Yeah,
over
Pat
Javon,
Bev.
absolutely.
We got Leroy Carter. His numbers last year, by the way, 11 points. He had 5 rebounds a game and 4.5 assists on 22 minutes of play.
I'll take that off the bench.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and then developing Ayo some more. Yeah,
I gotta see the rotations. I gotta see the rotations. My thing is, I mean, and I think I told Pat this when we was in the car one time. They as long as they keep developing Kobe White and Ayo Dosunmu, like it'll go smoothly. I think that this this will kind of accelerate it, especially too when you're talking about from the standpoint of Io, just in terms of like finishing around the basket, being that kind of facilitator role, because now I think he might step into that a little bit, especially with Billy maybe saying like, hey, we want to give Kobe White a little bit of a break. So I mean, it could help him, but I just got to see the rest of the roster fill out before I commit.
No, 100%. Listen, but here's the problem though: you're not going to see the rest of the roster fill out. The Bulls are in this spot because they put themselves in this position.
Yeah,
this is what this team is going to be. Right, and this is my problem with the Bulls. Your options next season are, hey, let's trade some pieces away, let's maybe blow this thing up, let's go with the young pieces. What does that do for you? Either Kobe White turns into the 25 point per game player that everybody's been hoping that he was going to be since you drafted him, or you suck and you get your pick from the Spurs. You're in a bad situation right now as far as player wise to bring people back. You've also gotten a situation where, like we talked about with P-Kid the other day, right, where guess what? Zach LaVine is not a great player to have for you here. Do I think Zach LaVine is still very, very talented? 100% I do. But you need to find a trade partner that probably includes you taking an L in trade situation, because if you don't find a trade partner for him, you're bringing back a player that y'all are basically being amicable in a relationship, right? Y'all are two people that just refuse to get divorced because you like, I ain't trying to go look at nobody. Like, that's really what it is at this point, because y'all walking past each other, you like, yeah, I mean, that's kind of where we at right now with Zach LaVine and the Bulls. Not to say that there's a bad relationship there, but they just don't care that each other exists right now, and they're trying to find a way to separate. And so because of the situation that you put yourself in with the Zach LaVine contract, with missing on multiple trades that could have put you in a much better position to actually go out there and be successful, now you kind of have to go in the next season and say, this is a best case scenario season. And that's really what it is to me. I don't think that there's any other option for the Bulls I don't think there's any option, I should say, for the Bulls to go in the next season and say, we're going to be the best team in anything. I don't think that you have the players on your team to do that. Nikola Vucevic has hit a decline. That sucks, but it has happened. Kobe White, you hope he's taking the next step. You hope that Aldasumu continues to take the next step. But outside of that, who you looking at? And don't you talk about Terry's holes again. That was nuts.
Literally. All right. Anyway.
Hey, yo.
Like
he going crazy.
I had a thought.
You on a legendary run, bro.
Look, man, hey.
Brian 2013.
Bro, for real.
This man going crazy.
What I was going to say, I was going to say that I think that here's the Bulls' problem. They don't commit to doing what they need to do, which is honestly it needed to be a full rebuild years ago. I feel like this is going to be, if they bring in somebody like Russ, going to be an iteration of what they had when they had Rondo and Wade, and they claimed, oh yeah, we want to start over new, and then they brought those boys in and made it look good for a little bit. Got to the playoffs, almost beat Boston. It was good competition.
Probably would have beat Boston.
Probably if Rondo didn't get hurt. Let's be honest.
Ain't no probably. They would have beat Boston if
Rondo was working them boys out.
Yeah.
Or if Rondo didn't get hurt, like Russ.
Yeah, to me, it's like that sort of like feel. It's like you're not fully committing to what you need to do. Like, I wouldn't bring somebody in here to stunt the growth of these young players that are starting to actually put it together. Even though, again, like I said, I don't want to sound hypocritical. I do think that Russ does bring some good leadership as far as mentoring. But at this point, give me somebody younger that can add to this team for years to come. I don't want a 35-year-old has been superstar on this team again just to fill seats.
Yeah. But I think here's the thing. Is it to fill seats or is it to fill a role? I think Russ still fills a role for this team. Or for, right, if you're talking about Russ filling a role on Miami or Russ filling a role on Phoenix, look, with all three teams, right, what can we say about all three teams? They need point guard help.
That's true.
Yeah.
None of the three teams that we're talking about have good point guards. Phoenix basically is just telling Devin Booker, figure that mess out. And he's averaging 8 assists a game and still struggling, right, to be the point guard of that team because he needs to also be one of the main scorers of that team. Miami has nothing.
Nah, bro, and that's my issue. We're literally going between Tyler Hero and Jaime Jaquez running the point. Like,
it's not good.
It's not good.
I believe that was my point there, Ringo. It's not good for you right now.
Yeah, it's not happening. Yeah.
And so, like, no, but to me, that is why the conversation comes up as it is, right? That is why I have the conversation on, why Russ wouldn't be a favorite for the Chicago Bulls, why I don't believe he's a favorite for the Chicago Bulls, because realistically speaking, why would he come here when the other two spots, to me, he starts. He's the starting point guard in Phoenix. There's no doubt in my mind.
And Phoenix.
He's the starting point guard in Miami. Yeah. There's nobody ahead of him. You come to the Bulls, you're probably coming off of the bench. Maybe this is a role that he has learned to like or love. Like maybe that's the situation that you're in, but I doubt it. You know what I mean? So it's like, no, everybody wants to be a starter. Nobody goes into a season was like, I'd love to come off the bench today.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? Like, I think that's the thing for me with Russ. Like, would I like for him to be a favorite to the Bulls? Sure. Do I think that that's how this is going to play out during the season? Not at all, man. Appreciate y'all tuning in, showing love. How many we got over on Twitter? 123 over on Twitter. If y'all can tap the screen and press that like button real quick, hit that retweet button. We appreciate y'all showing love, man. 49 over on YouTube. YouTube not rocking with the NBA, man. We got to get some of it. There's a lot of NBA stuff coming out, man. We got to talk some Bulls. It's okay. Y'all lucky we not talking White Sox right now. It'd be nobody.
No,
God, please. They suck. I literally, bro, the Sox are so bad. I told my dad today, and I felt bad, but it is what it is. I said, I'm not going to make my daughter be a White Sox fan. She can pick she can't pick the Cubs. She can't pick the Tigers.
How dare you?
Pick the Twins.
Why she can't pick the Cubs?
I'm not going to let her pick a Chicago team.
Because I'm not dealing with beef from family while I'm in my own house. I'm not doing it.
It's no beef. It's no beef.
Jeez, it's beef. You got to let the hate go.
Listen, absolutely not. First off, phenomenal stadium. Let me tell you that right now. Yeah. I will say that, bro. As somebody who has grown up going to it was Comiskey when I was getting Comiskey and going to Milwaukee because I was in between both. Right, so I would go to it's now AmFam. What was it? I would go to Miller Park and I would go to Comiskey. I didn't realize there were certain baseball stadiums you go into and you go, ooh. I'm here. You know what I mean? Listen.
I give y'all that. Got a little excited.
Bro, I walked into that stadium and I was like looking through. I was like, because I have really good seats, phenomenal seats.
Phenomenal.
So I was like looking basically through the umpire's face mask out at the Ivy. I was like,
Cribs.
Oh, this a wild city.
Yeah.
This a wild stadium right here, dog. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, but I also agree with what Crimson said. So you know what I mean? We're not doing none of that.
Shut your mouth, Crimson.
We're not doing none of that, bro.
All right, man.
We're never rooting for him. She can't root for him in this house, but she can. She has how many major league teams? 32 major league teams. She's got 27 other teams to pick from.
Hey, you know what?
She wants to be a White Sox fan, be a White Sox fan. I would love it, but understand this sucks. Do you know? I heard this stat the other day. Do you know we've gone to the playoffs? Think about how long the White Sox have been around. Right? You talk about the Black Sox in 1919.
I did a school report on them.
Hey, right, exactly. That sounds crazy. They've gone to the playoffs in 8% of their season. 8%.
I don't know what the percentage is for the Cubs. I can't really laugh. Can't laugh,
bro.
But that is bad.
I've never seen a team this bad. And here's the worst part about it. Because of baseball's rules, we got the 5th pick last year. we can't get another top 5 pick, and we're going to be the worst team in baseball history. I'm not subjecting my daughter to that. My dad told me to root for a team because I was like, I think I want to kind of get a soccer team. I think I want to start watching soccer or football, as they call it, right? I think I want to start watching. Yeah, I mean, I want to get into that a little bit.
Yeah.
And my dad was like, "Oh, you got to be a Man City fan. Man City's phenomenal. I loved it. Oh, you got to be a Man City fan." And I was like, "I'm not gonna lie to you, Pop. I can't let you pick another team for me."
Because he started off with
you
the
can't
Sox.
be trusted. I'm a Blackhawks fan, a White Sox fan, a Bears fan, and a Bulls fan.
I mean,
Blackhawks started working out after Pops died.
Yeah.
But I'm a Blackhawk fan, a White Sox fan, a Bears fan, and a Bulls fan. It has not been a fun life.
Sky fan.
Oh, I'm definitely a Sky fan.
But I'm a Sky fan, but like the Sky's success has been the last, 6-7 years?
3 or 4, actually. Well, yeah, since Candace came here. I was watching them before they got here.
They had some nice pieces before Candace got here, and they were building towards something. But yeah, I mean, like six years, I'd say. That's been when it's been fun to be a Sky fan.
Yeah, that's true.
Tough life.
Yeah.
I was
as
going
long as she roots
games,
for somebody in Chicago. Like, if you don't want her to root for the Sox, I would say just try to get her on top of.
No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not. There's no Cubs rooting over here.
No. I'm not saying Cubs. I'm talking about the other Chicago sports teams. I'm not a venture out.
But what's the beef in the household, though?
It's all good. It's
always
good.
That's what I'm trying to understand.
No, you don't. No, I'm not doing that. We're not making Cubs fans out
man.
here,
I respect
bro.
it. You stand on.
I mean, she got to stand on business.
No, we're not making Cubs fans out here.
I did it, bro. I did it for 4 years.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you this right now. I'm gonna tell you this right now. You got. I've seen the braces. You got the Giants on one brace.
That was a long time ago, and I need new ones.
And you got what's the other team? What's the other team you got on the leg braces?
It's the Giants.
It's the Giants.
Giants and the Broncos. Yeah,
Giants and the Broncos, right?
Broncos.
Yeah, it was, bro. That was a long time ago. I literally thought them was finna meet in the Super Bowl. I don't know what I was doing.
Got some interesting favorite teams.
I was just
Well, I don't think the Broncos even his favorite team. I think he was making a leg prediction. That's
Wow.
He was betting the final leg of a parlay. But
they messed it up.
But all I'm saying is, bro.
Dang, Tom Brady. No,
all I'm saying is, bro, there's no way that I'm going to sit here and tell my daughter, go ahead and be a Cubs fan. Now, what's tough about this is,
all right.
because I wasn't going to take her to a game until she was 3. But my wife got some tickets. They happen to be really nice Cubs tickets. So her first baseball game was a Cubs game. Technically, her first sporting event was a Cubs game. But my goal is that she'll never remember that by the time she's like 7 or 8.
I was just about to say, she might not remember.
She keep going. When we going back to the Cubs game? I'm like, absolutely not.
That's right.
I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I refuse.
I gotta ask you real quick because somebody just pointed this out. Okay, you gotta choose one. Is she a Cubs fan or is she a Packer fan?
What if she goes out and does that?
Packers would be way worse.
Of course they would.
Packers would be way worse. Like that's not
even a question.
Because here's the thing. Because Ringo, you know this though. You know this, right? My beef with Cubs isn't my biggest beef in baseball.
Yeah.
I hate the Twins. Like if the city of Minnesota, if the city of Minnesota fell into a crater and just the Twins went under, like Bane style, I'd be like, baseball's a better
play. The whole field blew up.
Bro, for as long as I've known him, I never knew his beef with. He just like every time I bring up.
No, C-Dub is the same way. Every Sox fan says them,
bro, because no matter how good we were, 90s, Frank Thomas, Ozzie Guillen, phenomenal. Lose to the Twins.
Twins always win away. Yeah.
Oh, we back. 05. We dominate. Here we go. World Series team. Lose to the Twins. No matter how good we were losing to the Twins. I hate the Twins with a passion. If the whole freaking Twins team was shot into the moon would be a worse place. It would shine darkness on the rest of the earth. I hate the Twins, bro. They are the worst team ever to grace sports history. The only team worse than the Twins. The only team worse than the Twins is the Toronto Raptors, and that's only because they got a garbage fan base.
Over 200 in the chat.
I'm dead. 200
Over
in
200 in the chat. 200. I hate the Twins, bro. There's no team more in sport. I'm not gonna lie. It's like legitimately. See, Cubs. See, everybody think it's Sox Cubs. Baseball kind of kills Sox Cubs.
Yeah.
Baseball kind of kills Sox Cubs. So it's like, yeah, Sox Cubs is like it's down here now.
Yeah.
Packers. Teams I hate. Packers. It's Twins. And then Pistons. And I know the Pistons suck, but it's standing beef. F them mugs.
Yeah.
How dare you knock Michael Jordan down? Hey, let's keep this thing moving along. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the page. Leave a 5-star review. You just tapped out on that time.
I love your rants.
I hate the
epic rants
so much, bro. It's.
Oh, bro.
Oh God, they're so bad, bro, and they're so good. They piss me off every day.
That's why too, because they're good.
You shut your mouth. Let's finish this show off, man. Appreciate y'all tuning in and showing love. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave that 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Listen, CBS is ranking, and more Bulls talk. CBS has the Chicago Bulls ranked as the worst team in the NBA for any coach to go to. And this is an interesting topic to me because of yesterday's news that Mo Cheeks basically said, hey, you know what I mean? I was going to take a different position in the organization, but I'm going to get the heck up out of here and go over to the New York Knicks, who are a winning organization. The teams that are above the Bulls, and I will say this, as a Bulls fan, I don't know if I would say the Bulls are the worst team to coach, but they do have you in the worst position right now. Mm-hmm. Teams above the Bulls: Washington Wizards, the Atlanta Hawks are 28, the Portland Trailblazers are 27, Detroit Pistons are 26, Charlotte Hornets are 25. Those are the 5 teams right now that are above the Bulls. Phoenix Suns also are 24 on that list, just to throw that in. And you know what gets me about it? It's how he wrote the article. This is literally what is said here at number 30 for the Chicago Bulls. I mean, what did you expect? You son of a... The Bulls play in the NBA's third biggest market, and their team-building approach appears to be win as many games as possible without paying the luxury tax. This team is built around 2 overpaid perimeter scorers, one of whom is 34 and will inevitably extract an inflated contract out of the Bulls in free agency, the other whom already got one and can't stay healthy. The Bulls gave away 2 lottery picks for Nikola Vucevic, who is now one of the NBA's worst contracts. They owe another pick to the Spurs next year for DeMar DeRozan. They've held Alex Caruso hostage for the duration of the well below market contract because of their insistence on competing for the play-in tournament. But that means they'll either have to trade him for less value than they could have gotten for him in the past, extend him at a number that might be shaky as he reaches 30. Kobe White is really the only thing exciting about here. But even though he nearly won Most Improved Player, he didn't average 20 points per game. It continues to go on for a while, my guy.
I'm with it. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Where's the line?
They're so bad, bro. And I thought that this was I wrote this down. Let me see if I got this in the notes. I wrote this down when this article dropped. And I thought that this was the thing to me that stuck out the most. Here it is. Since Jordan, since the great one, the GOAT, the phenomenal one, the heir, the man who dominates every single thing that he touches.
Thank you, Pat. I appreciate that. Oh, you're not talking about me?
You son of a bitch.
All right, never mind.
The Chicago Bulls have won 5 playoff series. By the way, we went to an Eastern Conference Finals in 1 year. So that means that we won 2 of them in 1 year. We've won 5 playoff series. The Bulls' record since Jordan, take a guess. Just like not actual games, but like percentage-wise. What do you think the Bulls are percentage-wise since Michael Jordan left? What percentage of their games do you think they've won?
15.
Well, y'all went well low. I'm not gonna lie to you. We are in a bad place right now.
No, I'll go 48. Realistically, 48.
43.
Chicago Bulls are 936 and 1121 since Michael Jordan left. That is their win-loss record. They are not above 500. They have been a woeful team for most of me and Ringo's, I should say, existence. JC a little bit older. Resident old man on the show.
Jesus.
Today.
Take over Joe's role.
How old are you, bro?
36.
Jesus.
Whoa, hey. Never reached 40 yet. Dang, Jesus. Dang.
Dang.
Oof. Really? I get an oof, Lord Crimson? Okay,
I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. That means you were in high school in what year?
02 to 06. Graduated 06.
In 02.
What's all this whistling? What, like, it's in the 2000s. You guys,
you were in high school in 02?
You know what? I don't appreciate
in 02,
this.
I was 7.
I don't appreciate this. I need Joe back on here. I don't need all this
so
old
you
attention.
don't get the old man shot?
I don't need the old attention.
Hey,
you
you're
guys.
bringing it up right behind him. I knew it was going to be a pause, but there was no other way to say it.
Oh, God.
Listen, you're bringing it up, dog. I'm not going to lie. But, no, the Chicago Bulls are a joke.
Yeah.
And that sucks. And for that reason alone, I agree with this list. I agree. And there's teams that are worse than the Bulls in the NBA right now. Listen, Detroit's worse. Washington's worse. Charlotte is worse, but there's hope there that, hey, we've got these young players that are going to expand and pan out, and all of a sudden you're going to be better. There's no hope here. They're holding on to the same hope.
There's hope in Charlotte?
They have
they got a better
LaMelo Ball. They have Mark Williams. They have Brandon Miller. They have young players already.
Yeah,
I'm talking about with the Bulls right in the draft right now, trading Alex Caruso possibly to Charlotte to try and move up to, what are they, 5, I believe? If I trade you Alex Caruso, now you have AC, LaMelo Ball, Mark Williams, Brandon Miller. Now you got to keep guys healthy, but
they're not healthy, and they need a coach.
They need a coach. I agree with you 100%, but I think that are they in a better spot than the Bulls?
The roster's there.
The roster's there.
They're in a better spot than the Bulls. That's my point.
Yeah.
And that is my problem with this team. That is why I look at this team the way that I do. That is why, to me, this Bulls team is an absolute freaking joke. And it has been since Michael left.
Man, that record. That's crazy.
By
I had
the way,
no
most
idea.
of that probably done during the Derrick Rose era.
Yeah. And here's my issue too, because I feel like whoever you bring in here, this has been an argument I had with just randomly with, the fellas before, is I feel like it's a matter of control. Whoever you bring in here, they could have a great coaching record, but I feel like even with AK, I've argued this before. I feel like he doesn't have total control over what he's capable of doing, because who's at the top of the organization? You have Reinsdorf, you have Jerry. And we've seen this even going back to your White Sox when Rick Hahn was here. Who did they bring in as the freaking coach when they had the window wide open? Huh?
Tony La Russa.
Tony freaking La Russa had no business being on this team coaching that young up-and-coming team. You're talking about a window that was immediately closed as soon as that guy got here, because of buddiness with Jerry, and he owed him a solid for what happened the top of the organization who it's ran by. I feel like it has been a crutch on the Bulls and the Sox, but since we're talking about the Bulls, I don't think that those that come here, whether it be coaching, whether it be the GM, the executive, whatever, I don't think they have full control over the business of basketball because Jerry keeps putting his hand in the cookie jar all the time.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I think here's the biggest thing, right? And it sucks to say it. Jerry Reinsdorf is an owner from the 80s, and he thinks like an owner from the 80s. And that is until something changes with that, which who knows when that will ever be, this is what you get. Did it work in the 80s, how he went about his philosophy? Yeah. Did it work in the early 2000s, how he went about his philosophy? Or in the 90s, I should say, how he went about his philosophy? Yeah. Did it work in the early 2000s, how he went about it? Yeah, 100%. Doesn't work now. And he's unwilling to change. And he's unwilling to change who he is, what he stands for, how he goes about running his business. Because guess what? His business makes money. But it will not win.
Nope. I mean, I said this before. He is the only person I know. I seen a clip where like the White Sox win the series. He's getting interviewed by WGN. They asked him, "Oh yeah, how you feeling about this?" Verbatim, he said, "Go get your Chicago Bulls tickets."
Yep.
Like
he doesn't care. And I mean, that's been clear from the jump. That's been clear from the start of this whole thing. He doesn't care about what it takes for the Bulls to go out there and win. He doesn't care about what it takes for the White Sox to go out there and win. He cares about what his bottom line is. And does it suck? Yeah. As a fan of the team, does it suck? Yeah. And you know, you're kind of at this point just left in this weird situation where you're like, well, I guess we're just here. We're just existing in these leagues right now.
Mm-hmm.
And that does, to me, that does suck. And I think that there's changes that the Bulls want to make. I think there are changes that they're trying to make that are more of a managerial change, right? But listen, I had confidence in AK when he got here. I don't know if I still have it. You know what I mean? Like you're looking at a GM and a president of basketball operations who right now have not tried to be aggressive in the slightest. I don't know if that's because of the guy that's running the show or if that's because of the guy who, right? Or if that's because of the guy who is the president of basketball operations. But I'll tell you what, it seems very similar to the guy who's been running the show on the other side of town. So it sucks. But at the end of the day, I agree with the list. I think the Bulls are the worst job to take right now because you know you're coming into a situation where you're not going to win. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. I got nothing. Ringo's a Miami fan, and he's depressed talking about this.
That man's head is all the way down.
Hey, Pat Riley be asleep, but we gonna make moves.
Only after his MASH marathon.
Hit that like button, only after the nap. Man.
Leave that 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. As always, for the man Jordan JC. And the man formerly known as Ringo J, Stefan Adon. It's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again. Shout out to 222 in the building, man. Almost over 200 over on the YouTube or on Twitter side. Y'all stay safe about that, Chicago. Bear down. One love. See red. F the White Sox.
Go Cubs.
Go Cubs, go.
Yeah, that's gross.
Skytown stand up. They actually got a game tonight. They're playing Seattle.
Oh, yeah. Let's go from Skytown. I'm also